That's an
All right.
uh,
So this is session three, part three of our Marketing Academy for Area 6. Please welcome Anita Prather Harvell. If you will introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you just jump right into it.
I can do that. So, as Melinda said, I am Anita Prather Harville. So the dog just left. I am the social media coordinator for Harmony Incorporated. I've been in that position since 2009, I think, when it was created. And I also, and that's actually, so I'm doing social media and marketing for a variety of other organizations. I did some wrote marketing curriculum for Army Family Team Building, which is a program that helps military spouses and soldiers and families. I also do social media for way too many other organizations and website design. So this is actually not the day job. The day job, I'm an IT IT support specialist. So, but it's a passion. I absolutely love it. And so what we want to talk about today is, or help you figure out what makes your um, organization, your group, your quartet, your chorus, how do we tell your stories and how do we help you tell your stories? Because, everybody's got, a lot of times we talk about social media. It's like, hey, let's go grab that 15-year-old and have them do it because, the kids are better at it. Yeah, no, they're not actually. They just talk more, but there's a strategy, there's a point, and we're going to help demystify some of those things. So I asked, did anyone have any burning questions or things you want to make sure that I cover before we get started? Because I don't want to forget them because I do have some timers. Sometimes I remember things and sometimes I don't. So I want to make sure that I cover the things that you want to make sure I cover.
I did touch on in the previous session how to boost posts. I don't know if
Okay,
that's anything you were going to talk about today, but
I
I
can.
did touch on that, and some of them definitely seem interested in the business suite. Do you use the business suite for Facebook and Instagram?
I do because
Okay.
it's super easier to do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I know a couple of places where we're going to go, I'm going to go ahead and, as they say in every swinging Zoom, I'm going to share my,
Anita, can
yes.
I interject here? I'd also like you to talk a little bit about relevant and irrelevant content.
I,
What things should we be putting on our Facebook pages?
I can do that. Let me make sure I remember that too.
I know that's something you and I have discussed back when I was PR coordinator that people didn't always get a grasp of, but they just thought as long as they were posting, it was good.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Like not so much. And it's kind of nice whether it's relevant or irrelevant or just whether who the audience is. So it's kind of like when you talk to hear yourself talk, you don't want those kind of posts. So it's really more about the other folks. So I'm gonna pull up my presentation here and I presume I can share my screen. Yes. Oh, yes, I can. All right.
That's how I roll here.
Because you gotta like that. That's cool.
Mhm.
All right. So I presume everyone can see my slide on the left, PR 103. Awesome. So a couple of things when we talk about social media, and I'm going to skip through some of these things because I want to make sure I cover what you need. We really talk about what we want to accomplish. So, and not necessarily what we want to accomplish for us, but what we want to accomplish for our goals. Um, and so why do we do social media? So I want to hear before I get started, why are your courses on social media right now? What do you want? What needs do you have to make you say, okay, we need to be on Facebook, we need to be on this? Why is that? And anybody can come off mute and answer. Go ahead, Debbie.
I'm going to say we need to make growth and awareness of Coastal Voices since we're new.
Okay. Growth and awareness, absolutely.
Sell my show tickets.
Sell show tickets, definitely, because there's so many things that people have an opportunity to do. You need to figure out how they pick you out of all the opportunities, all the places to go, things to do. You need to give them a reason to pick you as opposed to anybody else. Anyone else? Any folk from Panama City want to chime in? Okay. So definitely what you want to accomplish, so we've got growth, selling tickets, getting more members, increasing awareness,
Education.
education, because maybe some other folks need, that you've got something to offer, or maybe you need to bring in coaches. So you need to get the word out sometimes. And we didn't even talk about it, just camaraderie, just, oh my gosh, COVID is over and we all want to get together and do stuff. So what you do for social media has to fit that point. It's kind of like back in the day, those little cartoons, and you have the little monkey and they threw the paintball at the wall, and whatever sticks, that's what we went with. That's not it. It has to have a purpose. You can't just throw it at the wall, hope it sticks. Well, you could, but you won't know that it's working. So we need to figure out, what do we want to accomplish? First of all, who's going to do it? Because, every time somebody says, we all have that chorus, right? Everybody says, hey, can you take care of this? And everybody goes, not it, right? So who's going to take care and manage the content? And it doesn't have to be one person. A lot of folks have multiple people who manage their social media and their content, because there's different people who are good at different things. So there's always that one person in every chorus or quartet who loves taking pictures. Their camera is like attached to them. Okay, so make them take all the pictures. They like doing it anyway. So that's one less thing on your plate that you have to do. You're just managing content. They're taking care of all the pictures. And then figure out what platform to use. Again, keep it simple and the easiest thing for you, because you're having to do it. Not just because I need to be there. Like, for example, if folks have heard of TikTok, yeah, videos are great, but that is time consuming. It is time consuming to create great content. If you don't have that time, don't set up a TikTok account. It's just not going to be good, and it's going to frustrate you. Okay. So how do you find content? What's important? What's catchy? We're going to talk about that. How do we automate it? And that was one of the questions about the business suite. And I also have a couple other things that you can use as well. And then how do you know it's working? Talked about boosted posts. And when you do a boosted post that Melinda talked about, you can actually see how much traffic you get. So that's a quick and easy way to figure out how it's working, but there's some other ways as well. And if you see on the right-hand side, you mentioned some of those things, performance opportunities, selling tickets, fundraising, community and business events, getting your word out to people who wouldn't necessarily put a cappella and barbershop together in a sentence. Okay, you have to show them why they need to do that. All right. So talking about what we post, and that's what Andrew was talking about. So most of the time there's two kinds of content. It's more different kinds of content. It's most effective when it focuses on educating people, as Angie mentioned, inspiring people. People love stories. People love success stories. And when people are doing really awesome things, like, so we click on the puppies, we're on social media. We love the heartwarming stories. We love the pictures of the puppies. People love that stuff. So that's your content needs to do those things. It has to entertain, because, on people on social media, they have the attention span of a donut. They've got to be entertained. It's got to give them a reason to stay. And also being enlightening. People want to learn something. They want to oh, I didn't know that. Remember around the holidays, there's always this meme that talks about how to read rhythms. And it's pictures of things. Like if someone wants to know how to do quarter notes, it's pizza. So people oh, especially for your non-music readers, stuff like that is enlightening. It's like an aha moment. So you want to have content that does that for them. Content that informs people definitely who you are, how to find you, but not necessarily direct promotion. So direct promotion is, hi, here's who we are, come to our show, you'll love it. And we're all going to yeah, no. Okay. You haven't given me any of those reasons. You haven't educated me, inspired me, entertained me, enlightened me, or informed anything. You just said, hey, come. So make sure your content has those things to engage people. And then, so direct, but there's nothing wrong with, hey, we have a show and it's next week. Direct promotion, there's nothing wrong with direct promotion, but you need to use the 4-1 rule. So for every one piece of direct promotion, if you've got 4 things you're going to do and say in a week, for every one piece of direct promotion, you need at least 3 non-direct promotional relevant pieces of content. Okay, give them some other reason to come there. And then when you throw in the come to the show, they're already engaged. Okay, but if it's all about you, they don't necessarily have a reason to be engaged with you yet. Okay, so, and again, it's because your audience could be a lot of different things, especially in an area that you're in. I'm in upstate, so there's very few people who are from outside of the area. So my diversity of audience is limited, but yours are not. You have a wide variety. You've got artists, non-artists, people going with families. You know, how many folks in the call started barbershop singing or started singing when you were younger? Any younger? Debbie? Yeah, I did too. I didn't sing barbershop, but I sang in a church choir when I was younger. So you've got families that, hey, I want to sing, or kids that singing in school. So give them a reason to go to a concert and engage and introduce their kids to singing and to you. Singles and couples, community, definitely partner with community organizations. If you've got a community college that has a music program, you know, find some of those ways to get out to those folks. But again, if you talk about yourselves, you're not going to engage all of these people on the right-hand side. So look at your community, figure out of us, and this is just a sample of potential people, who do you want to show up at your next concert? Who do you want to walk through the door at your rehearsal? Who do you want to, you know, to buy merchandise from you, or whatever you're going to do, sell tickets to your next show? Who are you going after? Because we can't go after all of them because they all have different needs. So figure out in your area who's your best and easiest pitch. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the area that you're in, Coastal Voices, approximately the demographic and the folks that live in your area. Anybody?
Angie, you there? You want to take this one?
I think she's going back
Or
and
not?
forth.
Or not?
Yeah, go ahead, Debbie. I think she's back and forth.
Well, as I mentioned in an earlier iteration here, we're trying to grow, but we are in like deep Sweet Adeline territory, and it's difficult. So we need to find the women that maybe are not Spirit of the Gulf material or don't want to be involved with them. And I'm one, because I've done that for 6 months. And for us, we've got a lot of people, but then we've got the people that are gone for 6 months of the year.
Exactly.
So it really complicates matters. Hopefully they stick around long enough for contests as they are this year.
Right. So sounds like you definitely got some challenges, but it sounds like there's some great opportunities, because, you know, the more casual, and casual is not quite the right word, but it's the more casual that you make your experience, you'll attract those people who aren't necessarily like, oh my gosh, this is hardcore and we have to rehearse all the time, and we all have to look the same, we have all those things. So you take a lot of the rigidity out of it and say, this is family, let's come sing together. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's the simplest message, that's most effective. There's no stress. We'll teach you how to read. If you don't read, that's okay. You know, we'll work it out, but come to have fun, which is a completely different message. So that's definitely an audience that you can go after, which means and then also, especially in larger choruses, especially Spirit of the Gulf and all those larger Sweet Adeline choruses, you've got a financial obligation that's way more expensive. So now you've got these maybe single parents or parents with, you know, women with families. For them, the other choral groups are not attainable. So think about what makes you different from them, and that's who your audience is. That's who you go after. If you know, if it costs if you've got a, Spirit of the Gulf does 3 performances and you have all these costumes, and I'm thinking, I can't afford that. So you now know you've got folks who, you need to talk to folks who may be on, I'll say limited, and not necessarily limited income, but their income is going to their families, or singles or couples. So you've got some opportunities there for sure. Sorry, Debbie,
Yeah,
go
those
ahead.
are good points. Thanks, Anita.
Yeah. Okay. So who does this stuff other than tag you're it? So again, find those people who like to do things. If you've got somebody in your chorus who love taking pictures, they are those people. Okay. Give them, you can give them limited access, which we call editor access to your social media, and they could post all the pictures in the world. When you go on a picnic, when you're singing and having a rehearsal, I think I saw Coastal Voices had a rehearsal in the park or something, which was super fun. I wish we could do that. Our park's underwater, but that's cool. So, have those people. Those are the people who take those pictures and put that stuff on social media, and it has absolutely no purpose. It's just fun. So give them something to do. Okay. So find people who like taking videos. Find people who like challenging people and creating contests. I'm that person. I love creating things for people to do. And then also encourage your choruses and quartets and your fans to like and share other posts, because that's how stuff gets out. Somebody has to engage in the content. Find ringers. Just say, hey, a couple times a week, can you just go click on something? That'd be great. It sounds kind of cheesy, but that's how your content gets trending. That's how it gets out there. Somebody engages with it, and it doesn't have to be very long. It's just like, hey, do me a favor, we just posted something, can you like it? Great. Okay. And then again, talking about what our message, and you've got those big picture people who like to see facts and figures and numbers. So have them help you out. Okay. Say, hey, can you look and see if this is working? Can you see how many people clicked on that? And they can say, yeah, it didn't work for me. So don't feel you have to do it all by yourself, because you'll get burned out. Okay. And you'll struggle with, well, what do I post? I posted that yesterday. Do I post this again today? So get some people to help you. Okay. Yep. And again, like I said, sometimes you're the team. If you are the one, get your area. I'm waving to Melinda. Get your area folks to help you. Get other people to help you out, and then make sure you give yourself some downtime. Okay, because this isn't a job. This is something you do because you love it. Okay. So obviously the big one everybody uses is Facebook. Again, wide audience. Content shows up on everybody. It's easy to share. Make sure you have a mix of content. This is where making sure that you post not all about you is very, very, very important, because you've got a wide variety of ways to do it. It's definitely people like the informational, educational, inspirational. As I said, everybody likes pictures of the puppies. They like all the graphics. This is where that kind of stuff should go. Okay, make sure you have a lot of that. And then again, come up with something every week. You don't have to post every day. Someone asked me that. Do you have to post every day? Absolutely not. Because most people, if they have a life, they don't have time to read it every day. And with the Facebook algorithm, it'll usually take about 12 to 24 hours before they see that post. I've had posts on my personal feed that were on my birthday that people didn't see till 2 days later. They wished me a happy birthday. It's like, well, that was 2 days later, but cool. It just doesn't always show up in their feeds depending on what they like and what they're seeing. So don't feel you have to post every day, because people won't see it. Okay. So, and again, some of the challenges, people, if you post too much content, they'll just unlike you, or they'll just mute it, or you just won't get to see it. So make sure you post content that they're going to be engaging with. So Instagram is another opportunity, and an advantage, and I'm going to talk about that you can use both. You can use the you can use Facebook's tools to actually, since Facebook owns, or Meta, excuse me, it's now Meta. Meta is the company, parent company of both Facebook and Instagram. So you can actually post to both if you have an Instagram account from Facebook. Really easy. And they finally made that easy. So Instagram, again, primarily for smartphones. You can do some things, or mobile devices. You can do some things with Instagram in a browser, typically not. The content will be there forever and ever. So make sure that you post something you meant to post that, because it's a lot harder to get rid of Instagram posts. I know, I did it. I'll never do it again. So high engagement, younger audiences for sure. So if you're trying to reach a younger audience, if you're trying to reach those young families, if you're trying to reach those students, say you're close to a community college and you want to get some singers in that maybe, just graduated from high school, that are still in the area, that may still want to sing, definitely use more Instagram, because that's where younger audiences are going, especially also younger women. But again, you really need good photos, because the challenge with Instagram, blurry, non-boring photos are going to get people to unfollow your page pretty quickly. So this is where you have those people who are really good at pictures. Those are your Instagram folks. Have them like, hey, can you take, and they'll go like, we're having a party, or we're having our barbershopper of the year, or we're having our ceremony. Can you take lots of pictures? Yeah. That's the person you need to get on your Instagram, okay? Because you need to tell the story in pictures. There are no words like Facebook. I mean, there are, but they're really small and nobody pays attention to them. Melinda's laugh is like, yeah, no, right. Because they're really small. When you look at them on there, the text is ridiculously teeny. So the picture has to tell the story to make me want to look for those words, okay? Very rarely used with barbershoppers is Twitter. Twitter is more if you really have time to engage, because basically Twitter is talking to people in 140 characters. So if you don't have time to engage in regular conversations, I would stay away from Twitter. But it's out there. Again, if that's something that you have someone who's interested in, it is available. I think, is AHC on Twitter? I think you are.
Yes, but it just shares our Facebook content, because
and that's okay too.
Yeah, that's the only content that goes there.
Yeah, and that's okay too, because again, it's a lot of conversations, and that's time consuming. Okay. But again, also younger folks. Brands tend to use Twitter more, like Coca-Cola, big companies who are having conversation with people, more than organizations. So if you're not on Twitter, I wouldn't, and usually just using it to share other content, I wouldn't sweat it. Okay. Again, it takes time, and that's not always where your audience is. I see a lot of barbershoppers, and for the most part, they're not on Twitter. It's just not a medium that they're engaged in right now. So I really wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on it. Okay. What questions do you have so far? Good, zooming? Okay. All right. If, however, here's the one caveat on Twitter, whether you intend to use it or not, get an account in your organization's name. So I'll tell a long story, really, a very long story really quickly. So it was very well known in Twitter that a gentleman got an account. He got his own account, and I can't remember. Oh, it was a letter M or something really, really weird. And he got a Twitter account in that. He let it lapse. Somebody requested a password reset. They got access to his Twitter account, and it took almost a year for him to get it back. So there's no burden of proof that when somebody signs up for a Twitter account that they are you. So there can be people masquerading as you. So I'll give you our better example. Our local newspaper changed the Watertown Daily Times. They, about 4 or 5 years ago, decided to rebrand. It's because Watertown Daily Times was too long, and there's also 5 Watertowns. There's one in Massachusetts. There's so many Watertowns, and all their papers are named the Watertown Daily Times. So they decided that we're going to rebrand and we're going to be NNY 360. Awesome. Yeah. Their website's now NNY 360. Their Facebook is NNY 360. But they announced that they were going to do it a month ahead of time. And some enterprising person got the NNY 360 Twitter handle. So they don't own it now. So now they can't brand consistently because somebody else owns the NNY 360 Twitter handle just to be a jerk. So their Twitter handle, I think, is WDT News or something. But again, it took their entire thought of branding and kicked it to the curb. So even if you don't want it, if you think in some future down the road, sign up for a Twitter account, claim your name, and don't everything, and you don't have to do anything with it. Yes, Debbie.
I was going to ask, are we like so important that we really need to do that?
Only if you think you're going to ever use Twitter. But the challenge is if somebody masquerades as you, people don't know it's not you.
Okay.
If they create content that maybe not what you would normally put out, but it could potentially affect the reputation of your chorus, they don't know it's not you.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Anita.
Yeah, that was, it's like, oh, people do really weird things on the internet. So YouTube, again, this requires you to have content, and there's a whole lot of legalities with that as well. But again, it's a great, if you have video of yourselves or performances, or if something, public, it's a great way to get your word out there. Worldwide impact on YouTube. You can actually link it to other social media. You can create your own unique channel. Really, really awesome. YouTube is by far, next to TikTok, the largest social media outlet. Again, challenges with YouTube, we know. Yeah, ads. There are ways to get around ads, though. If you make your content available for children only, there will be no ads. So there's a couple of workarounds for that. If you say my content is for children 18 and under, whatever, there will be no ads. Granted, no people can't comment on it, but it gets rid of a lot of those things. Some challenges with YouTube is, again, not having good quality content. Make sure if somebody's filming, it's not, in the little dark hole in the corner and you can't see everybody's face and you can't hear anything. And, and there's people, and you're in a restaurant and people are talking in the background. Yeah, don't be those. Good content may cost you money. And again, it depends on what you're going for in your content. Sometimes it could be just a singing Valentine. If you're trying to say, for example, at some point, try to use that as an income source, do a teaser, get a quartet together, do a little quick singing Valentine on YouTube. It's public domain, doesn't care. And now people get to hear you and see you. Okay. Learning curve for sure. Getting stuff uploaded to YouTube is a little bit of a learning curve, and then copyright issues. Oh, so many copyright issues. But we've got some folks in Harmony Incorporated that help you with that. I actually just gave up that job, but we can definitely help you and navigate through the copyright. And then we've also helped choruses if they just don't want to bother with the copyright. Myself and the copyright and licensing coordinator, we've actually posted on the Harmony Incorporated YouTube channel on behalf of other choruses. So it shows up on our channel and we handle all the copyright, and I said, here it is, do what you want to do with it, market it, we don't care. But it's their performances. So we offer that service as well. So social media for the masses, there's a couple of things, and we're going to also talk about we're also going to talk about Facebook's tools. Canva, for people who don't do graphic design, it's so super easy and awesome. You don't have to be a graphic designer. You don't have, if you're looking for pictures, they're all free. I like free, it's my favorite 4-letter word. If you haven't, so a lot of these tools are out here and available to help you do your social media. Biggest one I use for design is Canva. It helps me create pictures and flyers and all of those kind of things. And the other one I use primarily is Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a scheduling program. So and it's, well, for one channel, it's free. So for almost everyone's use here on this call, it would be free. So you can set up and connect your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you had LinkedIn, basically could put all of those in, and you can make the post schedule the same post schedule automatically. So for example, for Harmony Incorporated, I schedule pretty much a week's post out on Sunday night and I walk away from it. It's like, here's a post. I tell you, I said what time I want them to go, what channels I want them to go to, and then I'm good to go for the week. Unless I see something, one off with the schedule things are done ahead of time, because, I have a full-time job. So, and as we all do, and we have other things to do. So Hootsuite is a really awesome free package, and I'm going to show you that after we get done with the Facebook one. So definitely things to help you. So you're not spending a lot of time posting. So as Angie said, sometimes things happen, because sometimes things will go wrong. Sometimes you will post pictures of your babies on your or your family, or slightly, or your graduation picture on your chorus page, because you just not paying attention. Because when you go into, or you'll share something and Facebook, it says, share to, a different location, and you forget that you're in your chorus account. And you're sharing things that you probably wouldn't want to, your chorus people to see, but yeah, so it's okay. Things happen. Just make sure, there's if as soon as you see it right away, delete it. But again, the challenge of managing multiple accounts, just don't be in a hurry. Sometimes if you have issues with people make comments, and this is a really big challenge, because sometimes people on social media are just not kind. If you have people who make not so nice comments on your social media, you don't always have to engage. I know we want to defend our choruses, we want to defend our organizations, we want to do all those kind of things. Just let it go. A couple of things will happen. You'll get people, most people will ignore it, or they won't even see it. You'll get people who will defend you. And that's a good news, bad news thing, because sometimes they let things go on longer than it probably would had it just let it die. So don't take it personally. Some people post on things. What you do need to look at, though, are posts that are spam, because a lot of those, they go into those posts, and that's how you get people say they're hacked when they're really not. What somebody's done is just taken their profile pictures and created another profile. But things that people do spam posts on your posts that have nothing to do with what you talked about, those you need to delete right away, because people click on those, and what will happen is then they will run into issues. So Debbie's like, yeah, we've all seen those spam posts on other people's posts, and it says, click here and watch the movie. You can see I have so and so streaming, and you can watch. It's like, what does that have to do with singing at a restaurant? Nothing. They're just trying to get people to do that. So every so often, go through your social media pages and get rid of that stuff, so it keeps your fans safe and keeps them from having to deal with that kind of stuff on your page. So actually, before I go there, let me stop sharing. We're going to look at some pages here. So oh, no, I don't even know why I'm looking at the area page. I don't know why I'm looking at area 3. Why am I looking at area 6 website? I don't know why. Because it's really good. All right, so sharing content. So a couple of things. I hope you're all looking at the Liberty Bells. So there are quite a few folks in Harmony Incorporated. I try to stalk everyone's social media as much as possible. But the Liberty Bells are one of the choruses that does an amazing job. And you all talked to Ann earlier, an amazing job at their social media. They are, I would say, by far the gold standard. So a couple of things that they do, which is super awesome. First of all, that background picture, Who would not want to join them? I want to go sing with them right now because they are having way too much fun. Okay. So I'm engaged right away. Well, so that again, Debbie talks about going back to those people who's like, oh, singing is kind of serious. Nope, they're having a really good time. I want to be them. So they do a lot of things really, really, really well. That's one of them. When we talked about content, so here's a good example of content that's both internal, that internal content and also external content. So what they've been starting to do are posts about coming back out of COVID. And so they're doing a series with their members of New Year, New Goals, and what do they want to do for 2022? And the reason that's engaging, not only for them or for us, but everybody in the world's thinking about it, right? We're in this post-COVID environment, and we're thinking, okay, now that we're starting to get back to pseudo whatever normal is as a singing organization, what do I want to do? So they're asking questions not only for us as singers, but people in general. How do we get back to our lives? So they have content that's not only internal, but also engaging. Okay, and here's where a good place to take things like Canva. You can create this stuff really easily. But it's not only, and what they do really well, it not only tells a great story, but at the bottom it says, visit our website for more information on how you can join the Liberty Bells. So they're really good at addressing all of those audiences in one post. They're just super awesome at it. So for all the nerdy people, talking about targeting vowels and vowel sounds and doing all the good nerdy barbershop stuff, but getting back together. Everybody can relate to those kind of things. Okay. Another thing they do really well is when there are performances that are public domain. So for example, there's not contest performances. They don't necessarily have to worry about copyright. So for example, you don't need copyright to sing the national anthem. So they actually have video, and I don't have that up here. They actually have recorded a video where they sang the national anthem at the Phillies game, the Philadelphia Phillies game. So, who would not want to be part of that? So look for those opportunities. And as you can see, that post got a lot of engagement because video trends. Okay. So they're very, very, very good at things like that. So look for those opportunities when you're doing something that says, I want that, what somebody would say, I want to do that. Or how do I do that? And don't forget to put in, as they do, how to find you. Because I'm glad. It's like, hey, that's great. But you never close. It's kind of like if anybody work in sales, they always talk about close the deal. Yep. Same thing with this marketing. You got to close the sale. You got to tell us how to find you. So they do they've got all these through here, their members, what their goals are for COVID, getting back into singing every day. So this is a really cool series that they do. And you don't have to get this elaborate. It could be just a picture and words. But it is a really cool series that they do to get people involved and engaged. And so what ideas, before I go on to you all posting? So and I've seen some of your content. So do you mind if we take a quick dive into some of your pages? Okay. So who wants to be the guinea pig? Let's go first, because we're going to talk about your pages. All right, I'm going to pick Panama City. Okay. And you come up because I've been there. So let's take a little deep dive in your page. I love this. I love this cover page. I'm not just so you're saying, I absolutely love it. A couple of things. Make sure when you do your cover pages that you can see them, because this is a little cropped at the top. But I love it because it's, yeah. We're gonna do what we need to. We're gonna come back stronger than ever. This is like a girl power background picture if there ever was one. Love it, love it. Again, just technical things, you can't see the top of it. Okay, so that's honestly just going into the page and making sure your cover page comes down. So awesome stuff. I love the Singing Valentine's ads. I love those. Very easy to follow, very, very straightforward. Awesome. Whoever does your graphics, give them a, a little high five. And awesome about coaching. And again, this is awesome, especially for barbershop people, because we all know, especially people who are in the barbershop community, we all know who these folks are. Okay. We all know who Larry and Debbie are. They're very well known. So that's also including not only, hey, we're having a good time, but you've got a well-known established barbershop audience. So just because, so again, goes back to when you're trying to get people from, Spirit of the Golf, there's other barbershoppers, there's other people in the community. This is a great say, hey, we do stuff with people too. Okay. So this is a really awesome one. And new people, everybody likes newbies. And this would be an example of a post for us, because the general public doesn't know us yet, but this is a post for our members. This is one of those internal, rah things, which you need to do. Absolutely. They just don't need to be, we're talking about the 4-to-1 rule. One for every 4 posts, one of them should be this. That's the other way around. Okay. So what are some other things that are going on with your chorus that maybe we could put in here? Or some other ideas that that the group has for them? What are some other ideas of things that they could possibly post on their Facebook or their social media in general? Anybody?
Any sing outs?
Yep. Is anybody have you had performances or sing outs lately? Peg or Lynn? Are you getting ready for anything?
No.
I think
yes, we are. We are getting. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah, we are getting ready to perform on St. Patrick's Day, one of our local favorite eateries that is also one of our sponsors have been for years. And they invite us to sing every St. Patrick's Day. So we are getting ready to do that.
So that's thank you for that. So that's a great story that should be up here.
They have a big St. Patrick's party that night. So it's a big deal at that restaurant.
Exactly. That kind of, and is that restaurant on social media as well?
Yes.
They are?
They are.
So
Yes.
This is a great opportunity to post a rehearsal, just a rehearsal photo of you all getting ready for this sing out. And in your post, you should tag that restaurant, because what that does is that allows their fans now see that as well. So when you tag someone else, their organization sees that. So now not only the people that are following you, but the people who follow that restaurant now see the traffic. So you've now doubled, tripled, whatever their following is of people who now know who you are. A good example of that, actually, I'm going to go to, so a good example of that is the Village Vocal Cords performed for a Chamber of Commerce about, I want to say, a week ago. And they did the exact same thing. So what they did was, let me see if I can find it. Okay. So what happened, they also partnered with that. So they were performing for the Glen Ellen Chamber of Commerce. So that's in their area. So not only did the Glen Ellen Chamber of Commerce tag the Village Vocal Cords in their post, the VVCs also shared that. So now this traffic is trending for both the VVC's followers and the Chamber of Commerce's followers. Really easy, quick and easy to do. So if you go to the Glen Ellen Chamber of Commerce page, and it's going to take me a while because that was a minute ago. I should have done this another way. Yep, let's do this the right way. You can actually get to the post directly if you click the date. Scrolling. Okay. Date. So all of these fans now learn about the VVCs. So use your partnerships to get the word out. Okay. All right. So let's look at, I'm not gonna put you on the spot much, Belinda, but I am. And I can pick on her because AHUC is my adopted chorus. So, okay. And always I did that because I know this we're doing. So again, preparing for area contests, singing together again, things that we are all excited to do for sure. And then little memes and stuff. Again, talking about engaging. Is it serious content? No. Do you have to create this content? No. Share other people's stuff. Do not reinvent the wheel. Do not hang the moon. If you see a meme that that's posted on someone else's that you like, there's a good chance that the people that you follow or the people that follow you haven't seen it yet. And if they have, that's okay. If they liked it, they'll still like it and laugh the second time they see it. So don't feel the need to have to create this content. Find a lot of pages where you can find this stuff. So for example, they found this at Bass Players United, which kind of makes me chuckle because I'm a musician. So anything with basses is usually, duh. So share those kind of things. Another couple of really good, Classic FM is another really good source for random things to share. I love Classic FM. So here's a good one. Music is the moonlight in the gloomy night of life. I love Classic FM. If you're looking for something that's inspirational, they are usually the ones. They have really, really good stuff. They are usually inspirational, that kind of stuff. They're very, very, very good for that. If you want to kind of talk to the barbershop nerds, there's always barbershop memes because there are. That was funny. Take the 3-day challenge. No barbershop singing February 29th to 31st. Yeah, okay. There you go. This is one of my other favorites. Things that disappear when you need them. Your phone, your wallet, your keys. My entire musical ability when my director asked me to perform my part alone. Can we all relate to that? It's like, hey, can you sing this part? Like, oh, I knew it yesterday. I did. I practiced it in my car. Not when my director needs me to sing it solo, though. So again, everybody's laughing, right? You don't have to create this stuff. It's out there. It's out there. And there's only 22 shares, which means your folks probably haven't seen it yet. So don't feel the need to reinvent the wheel. All this stuff is out here. Okay, so creating content. So Meta, it's so hard to say that in Facebook. Meta created about a year ago, they created a business suite, and the business suite allows you to post both on Instagram and Facebook if you have both. So you still have to have an Instagram account, and you can actually go directly to those, but it allows you to create posts that go on both. So if you go into create a new post, as you can see, I can put both. I can create content and I can put content in both of those locations. Yeah, sorry. I also do Area 3, so there you go. There's lots of things. I have so much content. So some of the challenges with Facebook or Instagram, you need to make sure that you have, I'm going to go back to ICNC. Make sure that you have pictures, because if you don't have a picture, then actually that's not the one I want. Then you can't post to Instagram. It will tell you that you can't put that picture there. So actually, I'm gonna use a different picture. So you can exactly as you were posting directly from Facebook. And now those posts will go both locations. So I'm got a picture here of the unaccompanied minors. And then I could put whatever I want to put in here during the text. And if I wanted to just the same content to go both places, I could. You can also customize it. So for example, if I want my Facebook post to be different than my Instagram post, you can do that as well. So for example, in Instagram, one of the things most people do is do a lot of hashtags. So which you wouldn't necessarily do in most not necessarily do in Facebook. You do most hashtags are really more for Instagram. So my Instagram post is different than my Facebook post. I can do some customizing. Still pretty much putting it all together. Oh, can't type here. So I can do like a second, you can basically, customize as much as you want or as little as you want. So the only difference between my Instagram post and my Facebook post is my Instagram post has a hashtag. I'm not doing any double work. The couple of new really cool new features that before you had to pay for it or you had to look for. It now has optimal times, which is a new feature in the updated business suite. So now I can see when most people engage with my page. So if I'm not sure when to schedule it, it's okay. It will tell me when a good time is to do that. So you can actually pick what time that most people engage with your page already and tell it, I want to post that here. And you can make them the same or different, but I want to post my Instagram post tomorrow at 4 because everybody reads that because they're just getting off of work or they're looking at their phones when they should be working and it's time to go. We know that's why it happens. So then I can go ahead and pick those and I can schedule it. Or if I'm still not ready, you can also save it as a draft, which means it's there till you come back and decide, okay, we really want to do this. So the business suite is an amazing, amazing, amazing way to do a lot of the posting and things that we used to have to do manually. Go ahead, Debbie.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask you, I have scheduled things before and it seems like I go in circles. It says save it as a draft, schedule it. I schedule it, I come back and I try and close it and it says save as a draft again or schedule it. And like this past month, I did everybody's birthdays to push out on a particular day. I scheduled them and they didn't go. Is there any tricks that I might be missing? I mean, I had the date, I had the time, I had everything, and I closed it after saving it, but it never went. So I was just kind of curious if there's something I'm missing.
So saving and scheduling are different. So if you've saved it at all, like saved as a draft, it is not scheduled.
Okay, but if I schedule it and it asks me to save it, is that not scheduled? Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, it is not. It is not. It should not ask you to save a scheduled post. It should.
Okay,
It just
all right.
give you a time to schedule it.
All
So
right.
it sounds
Well,
like it's. Also, another thing you can check is to make sure there's not any issues with your post. And was it just Facebook?
yeah, that's
Okay.
all we do.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I just didn't click on it to do that. So okay,
because
I'll look for next time.
Yep, because they're both together.
Right.
Yeah, they're both together. So hold on, I'm going to schedule this and then delete it. Let me schedule it for. Oh, that's days ahead. I can get rid of that. Okay, so when you hit schedule, there should be no saves. It should go straight to schedule. So my
Okay.
guess is you hit save and it ended up as a draft. So the way you can find that out, if you go to posts and stories, it's thinking. Then
Yeah, and then I've gone back to look at it, and it shows that it's going to come up on such and such date, but it doesn't. So Maybe I just hit save an extra time.
Yep. So does it show up in scheduled?
Yes,
Hmm.
and they didn't go.
That's-
Angie rescued me.
Okay. I'll have to ask her what happened, because typically what happens if you save it and then schedule it, you run into issues. It goes straight to schedule.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. And then if you decide I don't want to do that anymore, like, oh, that's so yes, last week, then you can just go in. You can move it to drafts if you still want to do it later, but you don't want to get rid of the post and recreate it, because who wants to recreate the wheel? I can just move that to drafts and it will not be published, which is a new feature I absolutely love. And now it's in my drafts and I don't have to worry about it's thinking if it's going to refresh.
Also, a new feature that's on there that I really like is in the previous session we talked about advertising, and you can boost the post when you schedule it.
Yep.
So you don't have to wait. It used to be you'd have to wait for it to be published first, and then you could go back where we saw where it said boost on the post that was already out. Now you can go ahead and do that before it's even while it's being scheduled. You don't have to wait to publish it first and then go back and boost it.
Yeah, I absolutely love the ads integrations that they've done. And again, you can also go back to things you've posted before. If you for example, if you've got a Singing Valentine's ad doesn't have a date on it, but you want to go back and boost it, you can create an ad off of content you've already created. So they've made it so ridiculously easy and flexible. I'm absolutely shocked that Meta did something that was useful for people. But you can boost it then. You can create an ad then. Sorry about the dogs barking. It's dinner time. So right here it says boost post as soon as you create it. And again, the nice thing about that as well is if you're not familiar with Instagram, and you can actually just go ahead and do it from here, because before if you wanted to boost a post in Instagram, you had to go into Instagram and do it. And that was way much more work. Now you can do everything from the business suite. Awesome stuff. Okay, let me get out of here. A couple of things we talked about. How do you know if it's working? Now in the home of the business suite, they've got insights. So you can now see who's looking at your page, how many people reached it, whether your traffic is trending up or down or whatever's going on. So when we talked about, is it working? Here's how you know if it's working. You want the numbers to go up. Green is good. And this is in your business suite. Or in an individual post, if you want to see how things are going, you can also look down as well. And it'll tell you how many people reached it, if people reacted to it, how many comments. I don't even remember what post this was. It's got 1,000 people. What the heck was it? Oh, your contest. So why do you think this was popular? And it was popular despite the fact I didn't tag the area.
One of the reasons it's popular is because it's a barbershop community, and we are talking about having contests, which we haven't had in 2 years.
Exactly.
Also, that sock monkey is adorable. So.
The sock monkey is super adorable. Yes. But you've hit all of the things that barbershoppers have been waiting for 2 years. And in Area 6, you happen to be first. Take advantage of that in your posts, on your social media. Take advantage of the fact that you are first in the shoot. Everybody is dying for a contest and singing and getting back together, and you're first. So when you talk about the 4-1, if one of those 4 posts has something about getting back together and singing and contest, it needs to be, because you're giving people what they've been waiting for ages. And like I said, you just have the fortune of being first. Okay. And you've got some amazing, contestants as well. So, all right, let me head back here because I want to be a good stewards of your time. So share screen. So there's lots of resources, and I will give this presentation to Melinda so she can make sure you all get it. Chorus America does a lot of really awesome how do you keep engaged, how do you do social media. Chorus Connection blog is another really good place for tips on how to do stuff. There's a couple of chorus Facebook groups, and it's all just PR people getting together. How do I do a flyer for a show? How do I get this out? It's really all, that's basically, it's just a support system for barbershoppers for social media. Public domain songs, if you're trying to figure out, can I put it on YouTube? Check first. Sarah Stone, who's the director of programs, is acting as copyright and licensing coordinator until they get somebody. But public domain songs, there's a lot of things that we do that are public that you don't have to worry about. Also, if it's on Harmony Incorporated's YouTube channel, then I already have the rights for it, so reach out to me. So if you do a song that somebody else has already done on the channel, most likely I already have the copyright information for you. So just put it out there, okay? Okay, so yep. And then when you put your information out there, put every place that they can find you. So when I do the Harmony Incorporated YouTube channel, all of that information is in it because I want them to figure out how to find me or find Harmony Incorporated every possible way that they can. So if you're doing a post, make sure, or your Facebook, make sure it has all of the ways that they can find you. So because, for example, let me go back to one of these. Let me stop sharing here for a minute. On your Facebook page, it should say, which a lot of people don't do. Let me go back to the lovely Liberty Bells. It's thinking. Another thing that a lot of folks neglect is, and like I said, I'm going to wrap up so cute, is your about screen. So make sure that this has all of the ways to reach you. So for example, I did pick, if you look down here, this is the universal icon for Instagram. It shows that they're on Instagram. So if there's other ways to get you or reach you, make sure that they're in here. Because I've seen some people who have a website and it's not in here, or they have Instagram and it's not in there. All of those things should be there. So some takeaways. Does everybody have one thing that they're going to go back and do and look on their social media this week? What you going to do, Coastal Voices? Go ahead.
I know for sure I am going to look again at Meetup. You didn't talk about Meetup, but from
And did, yeah.
Yeah, I for sure am going to do that. I'm trying to get more familiar with Facebook. Debbie, who had to leave, primarily does that, but it doesn't hurt to have somebody else know what she's doing. So your information, Anita, has been inspiring, and also you too, Melinda. It has been absolutely wonderful. So yes, taking a lot away from it today. It's been a wonderful session.
Thank you. And again, you can reach, as I put on the last slide, reach out to me for any questions, advice, whatever. I'm more than happy to help out. That's the job. It's not just putting content out, it's helping, our organization, choruses, quartets, individuals, making sure that they have the resources to help, be seen. You're the best kept secret is not a good thing. He's like, oh, you're the best kept secret. It's like, yeah, no, I don't like secrets. I want to be out there. So again, look, and then a couple of things that I think the Liberty Bells, they even have I believe they do have their meetup on there. I believe they do. They don't miss much about. Oh, it was on something else. I remember seeing it, but I do remember seeing their meetup on there somewhere. So make sure, like I said, make sure you have all of that. Couple of real quick, and again, a couple of really quick tips. When you message you, make sure there's so many things to do with the Meta Business Suite, and probably Melinda, I may do a Harmony chat live at some point. I'd been it's been in the list of things to do, which I probably better do before we get closer to convention. If you're not in Harmony chat, you should be. Please don't add people, because the challenge with that is there's questions that I ask you to make sure that you're not a spam or a bot. So if you go to I forgot I see it that way because I believe if it says, I think it says Harmony chat, if I remember correctly, it actually can go there. I don't remember. I should. We'll find out. It might work. I see it differently because I'm already in it. So, yep. So Facebook/groups/Harmony chat. It'll ask you some questions. Answer those questions. I'll let you in. But this is our internal discussion group. There's a lot of barbershop groups that are public. We decided not to make this one public for a couple of reasons. If somebody else wants to create a public group that Harmony Incorporated people are in, knock themselves out. I personally don't have time to manage that. But we wanted to create this as a resource for our choruses and chapters and individuals to be able to network. So, yes, ma'am.
Oh, gotta go. I'm sorry.
Gotta go. Yep.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up. So
Here.
take care. So if you're not in Harmony chat, go to Harmony chat. All right. It's been a pleasure. Sorry I ran over. But I can't wait for you all to have your very first convention. I'm excited for Area 6. I wish I could be there. I have 3 other contests I have to go to this year, but hopefully next year I'll get to go to Area 6. So, and thank you for having me, Melinda.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording.